안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
아메리카노
네.
드릴게요. 감사합니다.
outside is the bread, Taiwanese bread, but inside we have a cream and bean in it. 감사합니다. A little bit saltiness in it, but the one I think you love it.